Welcome in, everybody. Hello. We are live once again. Yes, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Let's just say that first, right? Super excited to be here for another episode with you guys. I'm just gonna stall just a couple minutes, let everybody make their way into the studio. All right. But super grateful, super excited to be here. I'm excited that you clicked into the video, whether you're watching on Spotify or you're here on YouTube, where we actually record these live every other Thursday. Please feel free to leave your comments down below, hit the like button, and all that jazz. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. We are going to get started in just a bit. We're going to give some people some time to get in and come in and mingle just a bit. Cool. And then we'll get started. Now, if you are in here, let me know if you can hear me and see me real quick before we get started. Let me know if you guys can hear me and see me fine. Like if everything is everything. Let me know down in the comments real quick. Hey, Mama Dreammaker, thank you so much. I'm glad were able to come through as well.
Thank you so much. I'm glad
you guys can't hear me. A little tongue tied, okay? All right. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Again, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm glad. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys can hear me. So, hey, y'all, and welcome back to the Love Yourself podcast. I am your host, Life. I'm so grateful to be here with you guys today, and I'm thankful that you have decided to join me for this episode. All right, for another episode of honest, healing, heart-opening conversation. Okay, that's what the goal is for each episode. If y'all didn't know. Now, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the Love Yourself community where we talk about all things self love because that's what dreams are made of. And we are all about realizing our dreams, okay? Not chasing them, not going after them. We're realizing them in this reality. Now, last week we had a powerful conversation with Lachelle about comparison. Shout out to her for coming through as a co-host. She was absolutely amazing. If you missed that episode, please go ahead and watch the replay on that one. That was a good one. All right. We talked about the importance of honoring your own unique journey. And on today, we're continuing the healing by focusing on the little one within. Yes, we are talking about your inner child. All right. The part of you that still remembers joy, wonder, fear, rejection, and even the moments when love felt missing. Okay, thank you guys again for being here. It can be a touchy subject for some of us, right? We're talking about our childhood. It is very, very important. So we do want to be understanding of that as well. But feel free, you guys, if you want, please feel free to leave your thoughts as we go along in the comments. All right. And hit that like button as well. All right. Because when it comes to these types of topics, it's just a matter of addressing those parts of you that still ache to be heard, that ache to be seen, and ache to be understood. Okay. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever you'd like, and get comfy, and let's go ahead and get into it. All right. Who's ready? Put "I'm ready" down in the chat if you guys are ready to get started. All right. So, what is the big question? What is the inner child? That's the biggest question we have this episode. And it's the inner child is the younger version of yourself, the part of you that formed beliefs about love, about safety, about identity, even about self-worth. Okay. And these can be unprocessed memories, unmet needs, emotional patterns, and that can shape your adult life, right? Or it has shaped our adult life. And sometimes without us realizing how it's affected us. Right? So think about it. When someone ignores you, it really hurts. When you're afraid to do something new because you think you might fail. When you say yes, even though you wanted to say no, that's often your inner child responding, not the grown version of you. right? And sometimes your inner child can show up as different things. It can show up as people pleasing. It can show up as fear of abandonment, right? You can talk about a recent episode, difficulty setting boundaries. We've talked about that recently. Constant self criticism. All right. Trouble receiving love. Last episode, me and Lachelle gave each other those affirmations. And one part of that we talked about was accepting that affirmation, right? So it really is important that not only that we give ourselves this love, but that we accept it, we revel in it, we enjoy it. Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming through to the Love Yourself podcast. This is episode 6, and I can't believe we're here already. And it's because of all of you guys who just keep showing up consistently, whether on Spotify or on YouTube. I'm so grateful for you. And today we are talking about healing that inner child, okay? That part of us that if it applies, we still need that healing. We need that nurturing. And it's wild how deeply some of those early experiences, when they're negative, it's crazy how they can stick with us. Okay. But the good news is we can heal those parts. We talk all the time about neurogenesis, all right, about neuroscience and changing, right? Changing our own mind and really nurturing those parts of us, that inner child. And that is what we're doing today. Okay. Now let's talk about why healing matters. Because a lot of times I hear that, oh, your inner child, your innermost thoughts, your past traumas. And I'm like, well, why do I need that to manifest? Why do I need that to create a life I love? And it's all goes back to self-love. It goes back to self-worth, right? Because this is how we attract into our life, is with the things that we feel, the things that we think and feel about ourselves. Okay. And so it is super important that we start to heal these things. And when I started working on my inner child, I had no idea how much I was carrying along with me. I thought I had actually moved on from some of that childhood trauma, but the truth is, I had just buried it. Let me know if you guys are with me in the chat. If you have come across some situations where you're like, man, I didn't even remember that. I didn't even remember that thing had happened to me. I really must have buried it. And there were moments in my adult life when I realized I was still waiting on someone to rescue me, someone to validate me or make me feel like I was enough. I was still chasing approval back that I didn't get from back then. Okay. And that can be harmful. That can be detrimental to the way I function in my everyday life, the way I show up to the world. Right. But when I started healing my inner child and acknowledging that pain, forgiving myself for a lot of those things, speaking kindly to myself, it started to change everything. Okay. And I'm sure it will for you. And that's why we're talking about these things on the Love Yourself podcast, because I want everybody to realize their dreams. And if we have to help each other, like, hey, what worked for me? What made your dreams start to come true? This is it. This type of work right here. Healing your inner child is what is going to have those manifestations, those things that you want and dream of out of life. That is going to bring them in. It's going to usher them in. Okay. Auntie Styles is in the building. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you guys so much. Because it's when you heal that inner child that you really start living from wholeness and not from the wounds, right? Not from the wounds that you had from when you were a child. It matters because it frees you from unhealthy emotional cycles. It helps you build deeper self trust. Okay. Now let's unpack that one. Self trust, that's what it's all about. That's when you know it goes back to self-worth. Do you trust yourself enough to have that those thousands of dollars you're looking for? Or do you trust yourself enough with someone else's heart? You want to manifest a relationship into your life, and not just a relationship, but a healthy, happy, fruitful relationship, something you could be proud of, right? But do you trust yourself with it? Is that maybe why you're not allowing it to manifest into your life? Because you don't have self trust. That's the same thing with money. Can we be trusted with that million? You realize that there are levels to this stuff. And that's why we have to be grateful for the level we're at now, but expect an elevation, expect to grow, right? But meanwhile, you're nurturing that what you have. So then you think, oh, maybe I can be trusted with a little bit more. Maybe I can be trusted with something greater than this because I've nurtured this. I can care for this, right? That's just like when your child is ready to get allowance. You don't go giving them hundreds of dollars at first. You give them a dollar to a dollar here and there, right? And you see if they can be trusted with it. And that's the same thing that's happening when we talk about manifesting a life that you love. Can you be trusted to be grateful for the things that you have now? Okay, well, if you can, here's some more, right? That's how you attract more into your life. So that I just had to pause on self-trust because that's huge when it comes to self-love is self-trust, not just self-worth, right? And it creates space for joy when you heal that inner child. It creates space for creativity and confidence, okay? And these are the things that we need and want when we are loving on ourselves. It allows you to become the parent that you didn't have in that specific area. Okay, because it doesn't mean your parent was not there. It just means that maybe there was some neglect in this certain area. Maybe there was something that could have pushed you a little further. Maybe that your parents didn't have. One thing I've realized is I needed to forgive my parental situation, right? Not just my mom, not just my dad, but the whole situation. I realized that I needed to forgive it because they were only doing they were only doing the best they could with what they had, right? With what they knew. All right. And so that applies to a lot of us as well. So we have to give that grace and give that forgiveness, right? But okay, and that's fine to forgive, but you have to reparent yourself sometimes. If especially when you're self-aware, when you know there are certain areas where you did lack that parental guidance. Okay. Now let's connect this whole situation, this whole topic back to the last episode. And that was about boundaries because listen, boundaries are not just for other people. We mentioned that boundaries can sometimes be applied to ourselves as well. And in this case, when it's that critical, this is what we need to do. Okay. And when you hear that voice in your mind, that critical voice in your head saying you're not good enough, you always mess things up, whatever yours might be saying, all of ours are not saying the same thing, right? Some of us are saying no one's going to love you like that. No one's going to love you like she did. Okay? That's where you say no. I'm the creator of my own reality, right? And I know my self-worth, or I'm growing into knowing my self-worth, whatever the situation may be, right? You put up that boundary with yourself to say no, and you protect your peace just like you would from anyone else, right? Loving your inner child is about being that parent that says no. It's going to say, I'm not going to let anyone, including myself, talk to me a certain way. All right. You have to honor yourself by stopping that negative self talk. All right. And healing your inner child is going to be more and more it's going to be the segue into you being able to heal, right? To fully stop and say no and really take charge in that situation. Because it's not as easy as we say it is. It's really not. To stop yourself when you're hearing those negative thoughts, you're feeling those negative feelings, right? And it's all about the perception that you grew to know as a child. So we have to say no sometimes, which means saying yes to boundaries, right? That's saying yes that you support your inner child. Boundaries in this world are important, right? But boundaries with your inner dialogue, that's next level self love. And I'm so grateful to have everybody here just in the chat listening in, whether you are here watching the live recording or you're on Spotify or you're watching the replay later. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button and leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Okay. So let's go deeper because you might be wondering, like, how do I even begin? How do I even begin to heal my inner child? Some of us just heard of this phrase, right? Inner child. Well, here are some practices that have helped me and so many others. I'm going to share them with you down in the chat, or I'm going to share with them with you, but I want you guys to share yours in the chat. All right, so as we're going through this, I want you guys to share if you feel led to. Okay, but one thing you can do is you can definitely revisit your childhood memories. Okay, take a photo of yourself and take a look at it, really look at it. What do you see in their eyes when you're looking at that child version of you? What do they really need from you right now? Okay, think back, really allow yourself to get vulnerable in that moment as well. Redbird, thank you so much. Silently saying hello. Thank you. We appreciate you. All right. Right now, we're going over some ways that will help you to heal your inner child. And we're sharing some ways in the comments. So if you guys have any, Redbird, you just walked in, feel free to share yours as well. So, number two, we have write letters. Write a letter to your younger self. You can start with Dear Little Me, or I'm sorry you had to, or I'm so proud of you for, dot, dot, dot. Okay. Whatever you feel led to say in that letter, just let it go and let it flow. Really write a letter to yourself, to that inner child, and just see what comes up for you. Okay. Because there's no telling what might come up. But remember, you have to reparent yourself every day sometimes. Give yourself the love, the structure, the compassion you needed back then, whatever it was you needed. Give it to yourself. Allow yourself, right, to give that to yourself and accept it. Because that means that you're validating your feelings. You're giving yourselves breaks without guilt, okay? Because that's one thing that adults have a problem with, okay? Especially people who love to be productive. You don't want to give yourself a break without feeling guilty, right? You have PTO, but you don't even want to use it because you feel guilty about not being at work, or you're not feeling well but you don't want to call out. There's so many ways that we show up even when we're not supposed to, or when we don't feel we want to. Okay, but give yourself breaks without guilt. Set a routine that supports your mental health. This is why we always end up talking about meditation, because meditation is one of those things that just takes a few minutes out of your day, but I promise you it will so help in your mental health. It's huge when it comes to helping with your mental health. So just set a routine and a schedule that fits you, that it might be reading, it might be taking a walk in the morning. It might be just having the window open and hearing the birds sing. Like this morning, the window was open and I was able to hear the birds singing this morning, and it really was beautiful. Okay. So just take that time to yourself and allow yourself to revel in those things and allow your inner child to be excited about those things. Okay. And praise yourself for small wins. How many times have you remembered or recalled, or maybe you saw another child, they do something super small, like they fold a paper into an airplane, and they are over the top excited. Or maybe you were over the top excited because that child folded that paper into that airplane perfectly, right? Why don't you do that as an adult now? Because sometimes it's those small wins that we need to celebrate, to push ourselves through that day, to remind ourselves that we do love ourselves, to remind ourselves that even a small thing is something exciting, right? So remember to do that throughout the day. And then what made you happy as a kid? Let's go through and really create some joy on purpose. I want you guys to comment down below, or comment if you're not here in the live chat, comment in the comments. Name something that made you happy as a kid. Was it dancing in the living room? That was a big one for me. I was really a big dancer when I was younger. Okay. Was it coloring outside the lines or coloring in general? Coloring was a big, big thing in my generation. I don't know how much they do it now, but coloring, that really brings back some childhood memories. Watching cartoons in your pajamas, right? Who says you got to get up and get dressed every time, every day? Okay. Take your days off and stay in your pajamas all day, right? Do something that is going to heal you more than you would even realize. Something small like that, right? So it really is, and it really is such an amazing feeling when you can realize that, oh, I'm allowing this to happen. I'm parenting myself. I'm loving myself. That is going to boost your self-worth and your self-love and your self-trust so much you are going to physically feel it. I guarantee. I guarantee. Okay. No doubt about it. So, remember also to speak loving words to yourself, right? Affirmations are not cheesy, they're powerful. Try saying, I love you, little me, even if it sounds corny. Yet, little me inside of me, whatever you can think of to make it sound a little silly, because children are silly, right? And we're talking to a child, the child version of you. We're not, this is serious work, okay? Tell your inner child you're safe now. I got you, right? We're not the one who hurt us, but we can choose to be the person that we become. We are who we choose to become, right? But you have to be able to work together with your inner child. If your inner child is so hurt still that they're pulling away every time, that they're running scared every time a situation comes up, then that's a tug of war. And that's why we're fighting with starting that business. That's why we want it so bad. We're always talking about it, but we're not starting that business because that inner child is scared. Well, what if it doesn't work out? What if I'm embarrassed? Or I write that book. What if it just sits on the shelf? No one buys it. What if no one comes? What if I host an event and no one comes? That's that inner child. That's not the adult version of you who knows you can be, do, or have whatever you choose. Because you do know that, right? No, it's the inner child. It's the subconscious mind. That's why we're talking about this. That's why we're healing our inner child and we're doing these things on purpose. Okay? Those moments when you acknowledge your inner child, when you tell your inner child, I love you, okay? You're building a bridge between your past pain and your future power. You're building a bridge. Not to say maybe you haven't crossed it yet, but you're building it. It's there, it's possible. All right? And it's exciting. Okay? Now, another reason to heal your inner child and another reason why it's so powerful to do so is because you are building that self trust. If your inner child feels abandoned, unsafe, invisible, right? That part of you might not fully trust the world or even trust you. That's why it's so hard to that push and pull, that tug of war is so difficult because your inner child has more control, I would say, over your subconscious mind than your conscious mind does. You're like, yeah, I want to run this business. I want to write this book. I want to start this new venture. But I'm just not doing it because I'm scared. Because I feel like I'll walk into a room and be invisible, right? As an adult. Okay, let's go to the comments and see what you guys are saying. Thank you guys so much for being here. My screen is so small. I love reading and hanging out. I can't even see that. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second because I want to see y'all's comments. There we go. I love reading and hanging out with my older sisters, though. Love it. 90s cartoons, hearing the theme music from the ice cream truck as well as the remix. Gotta include the remix. All the outside childhood games, playing video games, etc. Yes. My inner child keeps me sane. Very cool. Very, very cool. And you got to always look at it. BDB says you got to always look at it. What if from a positive standpoint instead of a negative one? Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little behind on these. Sorry, you guys. I loved being in my room alone, writing poetry and songs. Beautiful. And so, those things, if you're not doing them on a regular basis right now, then I'm going to suggest that you take some time, schedule some time, and make sure that you are revisiting some of those things and really taking time to just acknowledge your inner child and the love that you had for some of those things when you were a child. Okay. So we're talking about basically showing up for yourself, listening, comforting, honoring your needs. You rebuild that trust and you become a safe space, that same safe space that you were looking for as a child. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, babe. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. There was a book written in the 80s by John Bradshaw called Homecoming, and it was about healing the inner child. I've been working on healing mine since reading that book. And that's a good point right there. Thank you for sharing that, first of all, because we can all go get that book if we choose to. But I like that you said I've been working on it, because the truth is it is a process. It is something that we need to work on continuously. It's not like going and getting a college degree. It's something, it's something that you have to continuously work at. Even if you've been doing it a while, even if you feel, oh, I'm secure in that area, always remember that inner child. Always remember to um, really show up for that inner child, embrace it, and love on that inner child. Okay, so let's take a moment to reflect. If you can, I want you to close your eyes. If it makes sense for you to do so, don't go getting into no accidents over this. You can do it later. Take a deep breath and picture yourself as a child. How old are you? What are you wearing? Are you smiling? Are you worried? Are you shy? Excited? And ask yourself, what do you need to hear from me now, right now, in this moment, and just listen. You can also journal. Okay, I got a few prompts for you guys. So if you're not able to do the visualization exercise right now, that's fine. I'm going to share with you a few journal prompts. All right. And I will put these in the community tab after the live, so that if you can't write it down right now, that's fine. Or if you are on Spotify, come on over to YouTube, look into that community tab, and you can find these journal prompts there. And don't forget to check out some of the other videos we have over here on YouTube. So the first prompt is, what's something I wish I had as a child? Or I'm sorry, I wish I heard as a child. What is something I wish I heard as a child? That can be powerful, because for some of us, it's, I love you, right? For some of us, it's, I respect you. You are beautiful. You are capable. There isn't anything you can't do. The sky isn't even the limit. There is no limit for you. Okay, so think about that. Journal about that later if you can. And then another one, what did I believe about myself that I now want to unlearn? This has been a big one for me on my journey. What did I believe about myself? Because for me, it was a few things, but the biggest thing was about my self image and my self worth, what I felt about myself. That is the biggest thing that I wanted to unlearn, and that I've been working on, and that is working. Okay, how can I start parenting myself with more love? Some of our parents are not available to do these things, but we can do it for ourselves. Okay, we can do it for ourselves. I wish I had heard you can be anything you want to be. Same here. I wish I had heard that. I didn't have, and that's what I tell my daughter often. Like, when I'm trying to encourage her and just motivate her, I'm planting seeds, okay? And sometimes she'll look spaced out, and I'm just like, I didn't have this. I wish I would have had it. Now, I still do it though, because I realize that even if she's zoned out, I'm still planting those seeds. It's still going to be in her subconscious mind that her mother is telling her she can do it, she can be it, she can have it. And I just never want her to forget that. I always tell her, I want you to hear my voice. Later on, when the going gets tough, when times get challenging, because I didn't have it. I don't have those memories to recall somebody telling me, keep pushing, you can do it, you got this. And that's why I want to be that voice for so many other people, including my children. The older two, yeah, they're on point as well. But let's do the challenge. So this challenge for the next couple of weeks is going to be one act of love for my inner child. So pick one thing, go ahead and write that letter we talked about. Watch your favorite childhood movie. Say I love you to your reflection. Do some mirror work. Okay, you guys know we do a lot of mirror work here on this channel. But you can use some of those affirmations you see me doing to really use those as your daily affirmation. Use it as that's what it's meant to be. Use it as your daily pep talk, but say it to yourself. Okay? Color or play or rest without guilt. Take that time to just enjoy you, right? Enjoy the fact that you just have, even if it's a few minutes, love on yourself for just that few minutes. Give yourself a high five in the mirror, like that's a Mel Robbins thing. But mirror work, I feel, is so powerful. Looking yourself in the eye and having that conversation with that inner child is going to be so huge and so powerful. Promise you. But whatever it is, do it on purpose. Okay? However you choose to love on your inner child this week with this challenge, I want you to do it on purpose. Okay. And if you want to share, you guys want to tag me, please go ahead and use this hashtag here. That's not it. Use this hashtag here to tag me, and we can all see. Okay, let's build a community there. And this was a big one. This was a healing one. But thank you guys so much for really sticking with me through this one. And I absolutely hope that this is not just, I'm grateful for y'all, but I really hope you guys are not just coming to support me. This is work that we have to be doing. Okay. And I know it's not just about who's here in the chat, and it's mostly my friends and my family, and I'm grateful. But for the future people watching it as well, I hope you're not just watching this stuff. Okay. I really hope that you're applying it into your life and taking every moment that you can to really love on you. Okay. So let's talk about next episode. Next episode is going to be entitled Manifesting Self Love, How to Align Your Mindset with Your Dream Life. All right. And I'm going to grab you guys the link for that fab baby. Give me 1 second. I had it copied. I just uncopied it. So let me know if you guys, thank you for using that hashtag. Let me know if you guys have anything to add. This is not just, hey, life, this is not just me talking about these things. I want you guys to share your opinions. And if you think, oh, someone else might need to hear this, add something to it definitely down here in the comments, okay? Here is the link for the very next episode. That is the episode we're going to do on April, what is it? April 24th. Yeah, it's scheduled for April 24th. So you guys click into that link. Go ahead and hit the like button there already because I know you're going to love it, right? But set the timer so it says remind me or notify me. Thank you, Auntie Styles. I can't. I'm trying to highlight that comment, but it's not showing up on this one. Weird, but thank you so much for the super. I am so grateful for each and every donation. Thank you guys just for being here, hanging out. We are episode 6 is done. It's in the books. It's complete. Okay. And I'm super grateful to be this far along in the podcast with so many amazing episodes left to go. And you guys are just absolutely amazing for being here and supporting me through it. I'm going to go ahead and end the podcast or end the episode for today, unless you guys have some questions or comments to throw down in the chat. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. Did I put okay, I did put that in there. So thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night. Again, thank you so much for being here. Peace.